Hi, Floppycatters! This is the coolest review I have ever done on Floppycats. And this one involves Charlie and me. So get ready to check out CBH Energetics for humans and PetMedella for pets. So CBH Energetics, as well as PetMedella, are companies. They're one company, but this is a sister company to CBH Energetics. And what they do is they bioenergetically test hair and saliva. So this is the human kit and this is the pet kit. Bioenergetic testing is a way of assessing health by measuring the energetic frequencies of the body. So CBH Energetics and PetMedella use our hair and saliva samples to gather information about our body's energy patterns. So let's dive in. Inside the pet kit, you're going to find the ID, a bag, a swab for saliva collection, as well as a mailing envelope to mail it back, and it has address information on the other side. And then it has a little instruction sheet so that you can follow along. You're going to first create an account, then you're going to get the saliva, then you're going to collect hair, and then you're going to mail it back with your ID card. The human test is very similar in the sense that you're going to create an account online, then you're going to collect saliva, then you're going to roughly get 25 strands of hair and place it in the small sample bag, and then you're going to fill out everything and send it back. And you send it back in this box, which has address information already ready to go on the other side. I just completed the initial health form on CBH's website, but it was a lot of my personal medical history, so I chose not to include that part in the actual video that's going to be published online for the whole world to see. But Charlie's medical history is going to be published online. So, pet name, this is all very similar. That was on the human side. Obviously, I didn't pick cat or dog, but you have those kind of questions with weight, age, and those sort of things. You don't have to upload a picture of yourself, however. Then you're going to fill out things of what they eat, bowel movements, what kind they are, bowel movements. All this stuff is really important in understanding what's going on the inside of your cat. And then there are additional questions to answer. So expect to spend some time in filling these out because that's more helpful to them as well. And will hopefully also give you better suggestions when it comes to supplements and homeopathy that they're going to recommend. I'd say that it took about 15 minutes and it's all submitted now. So now I can go and mail his kit back and my kit back. And then we will wait to see how long it takes to get them back. I've done a lot of DNA tests over the years, and so I'm pretty familiar with how to swab a cat's cheek. But they don't like it. They don't appreciate it. However, if it will help his health, then we will deal with it. Can I smell this side? Yeah. Thank you. You're going to lift one side of the lip and then stick the swab into like that little pocket in the back. I'm trying to do it by showing you guys, but it's just worse that way, so he doesn't like the feel of it. He's trying to bite it. Well, that's okay. You can get some saliva on it that way. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm just going to stick it back in there. He was sleeping for a good portion of the day, and I should have done this when he was sleeping instead of when he's like awake and hungry. The human one says to do it 20 minutes after you've eaten or brushed your teeth. And so that part is done for Charlie. Okay, for the hair sample, it says that you just want to get a sample from anywhere, but I'm going to try to get it from a few different spots. So Charlie does not like to be brushed. This is a flea comb, so he'll really not like it if I use it on other parts of his body, like his neck. Sorry, that was a little rough. You got some knots. Oh, there's a knot there. Sorry, that's me trying to get out a knot. He's not gonna like that. You can use a different kind of brush. Like Charlie and Trig are the only cats I've ever had that don't like to be brushed. So this is a little bit different. Whereas every other cat I've had likes to be brushed. So I think that's probably gonna be enough hair sample. Now I have Charlie's hair and his swab, and I'll send those back in, and it says to return the ID card, saliva sample, and hair sample all together. So those are ready to go. And then I did my own. I didn't think you guys needed to see me brushing my hair or putting this in my mouth. For the human one, super simple. I put this hair sample and then the saliva sample inside this other bag, and it has your name and your email address on the outside. I sent in Charlie's and my sample on September 23rd, and then we got the results back on October 7th. When the lab receives the samples, they are analyzed using specialized equipment and software. The energy frequencies of the samples are compared to known patterns to identify imbalances, and the results are used to determine potential health issues and recommended treatment. When you get the samples back, or when you get the results back, you can have a consultation with PetMedella or CBH Energetics. You don't have to have a consultation, but they offer a 30 or 60-minute live consultation, so like a one-on-one session with a practitioner where you can ask questions in real time, or you can do a 10-minute recorded review, and a pre-recorded consultation is with the practitioner where they review their insights and recommendations based on this that you get back. Obviously, the live consultations offer more flexibility for asking questions. So that's what I did with the founder, Samantha, is she went over our results over a Zoom call. And so I actually have a video about that you can watch as well that goes more in depth to all of this, but I wanted to keep this short just for review purposes. So speaking of the founder, Samantha, I actually did include a clip in this review about why she founded CBH Energetics to begin with, because I think it's really important to understand why someone brings a product to market and what their passion is behind it. So I'm going to go ahead and let Sam talk about why she started CBH Energetics and how PetMedella was born.
I will give you the condensed version because I could talk about it for a long time, but thank you for having me first and foremost. And
Yes.
So I got my undergrad in packaging engineering, and I was doing that, probably for a few years living in Chicago when I went on a cruise, partied my butt off, had a good old time, came back and just felt wound down. And then I was like getting sicker and sicker the longer I was home, to the point in a course of a month, I went from just thinking I was tired from a cruise to being completely bedridden. And then for the next 4 years, that's how I was. It was doctor visit after doctor visit after doctor visit, taking so much blood, poked and prodded in every orifice. A month-long stay at a big clinic here in the United States, only to be told, here's an antidepressant, there's nothing wrong with you. According to your blood work, you look healthy as a horse, and it's just like, I know something's wrong, but when you're told that time and time and time again by hundreds of different doctors, you start thinking you're just nuts, and maybe it all is in my head. So I kind of just succumbed to it, and I'm like, well, I'm not gonna get any answer I need from traditional means, because God knows I tried. I mean, I went to so many doctors. And finally, this lady, she tested positive for fibromyalgia. And we were chatting together, and she's like, it sounds like you're struggling with a lot of the things that I struggled with, but then some. You should go see this doctor that's up in Wisconsin. I think it'd be really good for you. And so I got on his list to go see him. And in that appointment, and just to give you a little background on him, he used technology very similar to what we use here at CBH and PetMedella. And in that first appointment, he's testing me and he says, "This is all from a tick bite." And I'm like, no, it can't be. I was tested for Lyme monthly for the last 4 years. It never came back positive. And it was just he was like, okay, well, it was nice meeting you. Good luck. Or you can take these supplements, change your diet, do these lifestyle hacks and see how you do. And so I was like, well, I waited long enough to see him, and I worked with him for 6 months. He was super expensive. So at 6 months, I couldn't afford to go anymore. But in that 6 month time frame, I was walking again, and I was deciding, do I go back to my career as an engineer? Because I didn't work for 4 years. So do I go back into that career, or my life has changed so much, and I have seen rock bottom. And when I was at rock bottom, I prayed not to wake up. I had no quality of life. And I said to myself back then, like, if I ever make it through this, I'm going to help other people that are struggling like I was. So it was like a no-brainer. I went back to study bioenergetic medicine and became a holistic health practitioner. And I started seeing clients in person like he did in Wisconsin, and kind of like this hotbed of tick country in Wisconsin. And I mean, within a week of seeing clients, I had a 3-month wait list. And it was such a beautiful thing. And it was just like turning lemons into lemonade for sure. But 12 hours a day, because I wanted to help as many people as I could. At 12 hours a day, 5 days a week, I was starting to burn out. I mean, anyone would, let alone someone that just recovered from, some serious chronic illness. And so there's got to be a different way. And that's when I started to go back to my engineering degree and really lean into it. Like, how can I tweak this technology? How can I change the technology to be able to help more people? And that's what I did. We worked in changing the software, changing the hardware, and then hiring technicians, and replicated the exact methods that I was using when I was seeing people in person. And it has just taken off. I mean, we're going on, close to 14 years now. And it's just been an incredible thing to be able to help so many people. But the interesting thing is, I would say it was maybe a year into testing people that my little girl, Mila, she was half pit, half yellow lab. She started to have a hard time walking, and she was seeming really lethargic. And she was only 6 years old at the time, so it wasn't, something was wrong. And it was so beautiful in being able to have her sort of be a catalyst in the creation right around that same time that we were working on figuring out how to test hair and saliva, that she is the reason that PetMedella was born. And it's such a beautiful thing, because it's like we see our animals and we would just tell us what's wrong, and they can't. So you're kind of guessing all the time. And she was, our little guinea pig for the PetMedella side. And the interesting thing, being from the Midwest, she had a lot of the same tick bite related things that I had. And so same thing with her. We got her back on track pretty quickly. And she was a 65-pound dog. She ended up living to almost 19 years old. So,
Wow.
yeah. So because of her, PetMedella was born.
I was thinking about that too. I mean, if you look at the scans of Charlie and me, like, there are a lot of similarities, and it's because we share the same house, we share the same air space. Like, so if there are mold problems or spores or whatever, we're both getting exposed to that. So it is very interesting. I mean, a lot of people say that your animals will exhibit things that you have going on with you, depending on your connection with them. But I also think, just from a scientific standpoint, you guys are sharing the same space, so it is likely that you're going to have the same issues.
Yeah, not only that, but then you just get into like the bioenergetic space. I mean, we are in each other's energy field constantly.
Yes. Yes.
So
Yes.
it's very, and we see that all the time between pet owners and their parents. If we're testing a family, like their kids and parents, I mean, we see really neat connections, that it's like, if we can see a connection within a family, whether that's a pet and a parent, or all two-legged family members, it's really neat, because then you can start to hone in on not only how to cleanse and clear it from their field for each person or animal individually, but then you can have that bigger conversation of what's happening in your environment that needs to be addressed as well. Whether it's
Yes.
your water supply, or your the quality of your air, things like that.
It's important to remember that bioenergetic testing is not a substitute for traditional medical diagnosis. It's best used as a complementary approach to support overall health and wellness. So potential benefits of bioenergetic testing include early detection of health issues, personalized treatment plans, improved overall well-being, enhanced understanding of the body's energy system. This is the full scan report that you get back, and Charlie's and my full scans are linked below if you want to go through them in detail and check them out. And then also Sam's analysis of our scans is also linked to below, so you can watch the entire interview or listen to the entire interview where she goes in detail explaining these scans. Sam said Charlie's scan was actually pretty good for a first-time scan on a cat. He didn't have any chronic stress, which would have showed up in orange, or weakness or chronic weakness, which would have shown up in red or that like burgundy color. You'll see at the bottom of page 1, it says what is most significantly stressed, which are his kidneys and allergy points and sinuses, which didn't surprise me at all because he has been diagnosed with kidney disease, and this was taken in the height of fall allergy season. Then it goes into energetic sensitivities, things that are bothering him in the environment, additives in his food, grains, nuts, dairy, fruit, etc. Then it will go into energetic nutritional imbalances, so amino acids that are missing that he might need more of, enzymes that are missing, fatty acids, minerals and vitamins as well. So by introducing these things, back into his diet or into his diet might help with some of the energetic imbalances that he's had. Then it goes into energetic toxins, so bacteria, metals, mold, parasites, chemicals, and viruses. Then it covers energetic hormonal imbalances. I'm not going to go into any of this because you can watch the interview that Sam did where she literally goes into detail, goes page by page and explains everything to me. And it was so validating because Charlie had this GI thing that I couldn't figure out that happened on August 3rd, and this was taken September 23rd. And it was, it just helped me understand everything and what had happened. So I really appreciated it for this, or for that, I should say. All right, then it goes into recommendations of supplements and or homeopathic remedies that might help the body be more balanced. So in Charlie's case, it was recommended to do cilantro leaf, dandelion, dentistat, drain par, histostat pollen, and renapar. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing those correctly. So the first 2, the cilantro and dandelion, are herbs. The last 4 are homeopathic remedies. So we have started these supplements for Charlie, and I muscle test any supplements that I give Charlie, and it's been interesting. It's telling me to do like 2 or 3 of them, but all have come up as he's needed them since we've had them, which has been really fascinating to see. So like today, only muscle tested for 2 of those 6 in the morning, and then 3 of the 6 in the afternoon, because I give it to him twice a day. And already I have seen him sleeping more comfortably. I've seen him eat a lot more. He did go through a minor detox, however. He didn't want to eat for about 12 hours, and I knew that he could be detoxing from what he was going through because I'm also taking the supplements that were recommended and have felt, tired and lethargic and all that kind of stuff from detoxing as well as inflamed and bloated. But I have had really good success with not having menopausal hot flashes. My cognitive ability is a little bit better. Not that you can tell during the audio of this, but it has been. So I'm excited to keep going and see where it's going to go. And then when we're done with this, we're going to scan again to see what improvements we got from the first round of supplements. And then I'm going to cover that again in another video. Now for the balancing remedies, which I already mentioned, there are 2 herbal and then 4 homeopathic. So it goes into detail like what cilantro leaf does, what dandelion does. And then for the homeopathic, it explains what dentistat does, drainpar does, histostat pollen does, and renapar, which is the one for kidneys. All right, guys, I don't want to make this video too long, so I'm going to sum it up here that the reason I think that this is so freaking cool is because this really goes after the root cause. It really shows how the body operates as a system. So our bodies, our cats' bodies, our dogs' bodies, they all operate as a system. And in Western medicine, we tend to just treat that one organ and don't think about how that one organ is linked to other organs and how they all work together. So I love, love, love this. And this seems so appropriate in my life after the 2 years that I've been on this health journey with Charlie and Trig, that I'm like, this makes so much sense. I don't know if it would have made as much sense to me 2 years ago. And I also like, not only does it identify the root causes of health issues, but it also uses gentle remedies to support the body's natural healing processes. So it's just a beautiful thing. I do have to say a disclaimer, though, that it's important to note that this video presents a specific wellness approach and may not be suitable for all pets. It's always best to consult with a licensed veterinarian for any health concerns regarding your pet. And there are veterinarians that are carrying these kits. And I fully intend to tell my veterinarian about them as well, because I think that they might help her with more of her chronic cases that she can't figure out. All right, guys, that wraps up my final review video of PetMedella and CBH Energetics bioresonance scan test and results. Thank you so much for watching. Please let me know if you have any questions, and we'll see you next time.